Hey everyone, I'm Stathis and welcome to a very exciting Photoshop tutorial. Today I will go through a step-by-step tutorial on how to create transparent titles or texts using Photoshop. Such titles are very interesting in different Photoshop designs and they are quite simple to make. If you also have any issues or suggestions in regards to tutorials from a beginner to an advanced level, please let me know in the comment section below, as I'm planning to provide free tutorials on the use of different tools available in Photoshop. I will keep uploading weekly tutorials, so please subscribe if you didn't already, and let's go ahead with the tutorial. Now the first thing that we need to do, as we always do, is to create a new document. We'll change the name to, let's say, effect, and we'll change the size to 1920 by 1080 pixels. We will keep the rest of the settings as they are, and let's press create. Now the first thing that we need to do is to unlock our layer and go to File, Place Embedded, and then click in the image and select Place. Now we don't need the layer 0, so we can delete it. Now before we go through the tutorial, I would like to show you a trick on how to create the shaky effect in images using Photoshop. So click Ctrl and J in Windows or Command and J in Mac to create two copies of the image. Now select the top layer and go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and we will set the radius to, let's say, 6.2 pixels and click OK. Now select the second layer and go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur again, and in this layer we will set the radius to 4.1 pixels. Now the reason that we did that is to create a blurred, non-blurred image, which is quite common in thumbnails. So now what we need to do is to select both of these layers and rasterize them. And now select the top layer and go to Eraser tool and we'll erase the background. So we'll select the size of our brush to, let's say, 401 pixels. Make sure you have the layer selected, and now what we will do is that we will erase part of the blurred layer which lays at the top. So that's good. Now select the second layer and we will erase the middle portion of the blurred image. This is a nice technique to use when you create your thumbnails. That looks good so far, and now we have revealed the non-blurred image. Now what we need to do is to create a new layer and name it to rectangle. And we'll select the rectangle tool and hold Alt and drag in Windows or Option and drag in Mac in order to create the rectangle. Now what we need to do is to increase the radius of the curves, and let's make it 25 pixels. Now make sure you have the layer selected and go to Select All and align the rectangle in both the vertical and horizontal directions, and then go to Select and Deselect, or you can click Ctrl and D in Windows or Command and D in Mac. Now what we need to do is to create our text in the rectangle. So create a new layer on the top of the rectangle and name it to text. Now we need to select the horizontal type tool. Then we will change the foreground color to black and we will write our text, let's say movie. You can initially place the text anywhere you wish as long as you center it later. Now make sure you have the layer selected and go to Select All and center the layer, and then press Ctrl and D in Windows or Command and D in Mac to deselect. Okay, that's brilliant. Now what we can do is that we can adjust our text. We can expand it in the X and Y direction. So make sure you have the text layer selected and then click on the character options. And these two features here are very important. So let's expand our text in the X direction, and you can see we don't alter the spacing. So let's make it 192%. Let's expand our text in the Y direction. And now what we need to do is that we need to recenter the text again. So select all and recenter the text in both vertical and horizontal directions. So the next step we need to do is the trick to create a transparent title. So what we need to do is that we need to make sure that the layer text is selected and then click in the rectangle small icon. So now you can see that only the text is selected, and what we need to do is to click on the rectangle layer. And now go to Layer, Layer Mask, and Hide Selection. A mask has been created. And this is how we create a transparent title. So let's go ahead and delete the text layer. And what we can also do to make our transparent title looks better, we can add some effect. So right click on the rectangle layer and select blending options. Now what we need to do is to add a stroke. So we'll reduce the size of the stroke to, let's say, 5 pixels, and we'll change the position to center. And you can see that the stroke is located in the central position of our text. We will add an inner shadow effect too. So let's change the blending mode to normal. We need to increase the opacity to 100%. And let's reduce the distance to, let's say, 1 pixel. In terms of the choke, we will increase it to approximately 22%. And we will set the size to 9 pixels. What we can also add is a gradient overlay. So select the gradient overlay and click on the gradient editor, and we can make this color to gray, and we will set this color to white and click OK. And now we have a nice transparent title effect. So what we can also do is that we can increase the size of the transparent title. So click Ctrl and T in Windows or Command and T in Mac, and then hold Alt in Windows or Option in Mac and increase the size, and you can see that the transparent title is increasing linearly and is not affected. So that was a tutorial for today, guys. If you need any help in using Photoshop, I will keep uploading tutorial videos, and make sure you subscribe to not miss any future tutorials. If you enjoyed the video, like it, share it, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Until then, have a nice day.